Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. This is the Devourer of Cursed Spirits, D.
Okay, I have to make an announcement. I'm going to completely give up trying to come up with good names because A, I always
allowed.
forget, and B, I'm not good at them. So
You're
yeah,
not
this
allowed.
is Modi.
This is
vetoed.
This is I had Taco Bell for lunch and now my body is filled with cursed spirits. Matt.
See how easy it is?
Yeah.
See how easy it is?
I just thought of that on the spot.
That's a tough roast against Taco Bell.
This podcast has been brought to you by McDonald's.
Exactly.
I agree.
We got that grimace demon.
That's what happened to Cecile. She tried the grimace shake and we haven't found her since.
Yeah. which just came out this month, but she got ahead of time apparently.
That's what they didn't want you to find out.
Exactly.
But, tangents and grimace aside, we are talking about our first impressions of the first episode of the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. And if you're a degenerate, sorcery fight for all your dub fans out there. And ignore that, that's the fire alarm. And it is the second season. I'm feeling pretty solidly hyped. If I had to get my first impressions out, I would say I think this was a very strong opening. I think a lot of the animation, a lot of the visuals is dang good. It is prime Mappa. I enjoyed the cold open with Mei and Utahime Sensei. Senpai, Chan, something honorific. I definitely enjoyed the haunted house scene. A lot of really good expressive animation. I always praise anime for really going with the extremes of what you can do with animation. And a lot of the exaggeration in this episode has been really great. I like the characterization with Gojo and, I guess, Geto. I really enjoyed a lot of the lore and world building for this one, which I have to give it a lot of praise for, because when I'm trying to learn how to write, I think exposition is one of the hardest things to do, especially when it's as dense as this. So the fact that they used freaking anime references to explain, the lore of the world. That is such a brilliant brilliant idea, and I gotta give a lot of praise for that. And I'm really hyped for it. I'm not sure how I feel about Gojo as a main character, because I kind of feel like I've never been a big fan of the overpowered protagonist trope, and I feel like he's the kind of character that's really nice in short bursts, but not fun to focus the show around.
That's a good point, actually.
I think Studio Mappa are the undeniable kings of anime right now. This was
animals. They're animals.
Yeah, this was so beautiful. I don't even know what to say this episode. Between this and Chainsaw Man and Attack on Titan, it's insane what they're doing. Praying for those animators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, health check on them, make sure they're not the troughs that they normally feed them through is actually have enough food for them,
I tried to call in for a welfare check with the Japanese police, but they got turned away by the Mappa security, so fingers crossed.
Well, Japanese police is just a bunch of teenagers that are forced to fight demons.
Also, were the creators of Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen brothers? Because it's weird how Jujutsu Kaisen literally also has a infinite hallway set piece.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, I feel like this is the closest thing anime could get, shonen anime or manga could get to being as incestuous as, isekai. Not saying I'm thinking it's a bad thing. I kind of feel like Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen is just it's an evolution of the whole, it's the evolutionary process of shonen manga times 20. Usually you would have, a series like Naruto come out 10 years or so after Dragon Ball Z and sort of incorporate some aspects of it inside of itself. But then you have Chainsaw Man come in and just assimilate Jujutsu Kaisen and really effectively create its own story. Not to like dwell on Chainsaw Man, because one thing I really like is Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen feel very similar, but I do think they are really great in their own unique ways.
Wait, are you saying Chainsaw Man took the hallway thing from Jujutsu Kaisen?
I think so, because I know they came out around the same time, so I'm not sure who made the first reference to this.
Actually, more interesting question. Which one do you guys think did it better?
Chainsaw Man.
Ooh, I think Jujutsu Kaisen.
I think it's a weird comparison. Because clearly the Chainsaw Man one, that's like kind of, not only does it operate differently, but it's like the focus of that arc in that episode. This was just like sort of like an intro monster. But although I do like how it was handled here. And can I just say, I am so glad to like finally watch a show again. I'm so happy to watch a show with characters, with like visual storytelling, with just like backgrounds that don't look like they're like stock images. Like, it's so nice to like actually see a show. Because for the past few weeks, I don't know what the fuck we were watching, but
Matthew just... The past stuff we watched was just so bad. Matthew just repressed all of that. He's just missing like an entire like season of his life.
Honestly, yeah, it feels like that.
It's funny because I was just thinking the other day that the whole time we had Matt watching Mashle, Vinland Saga was out. We could have been watching that.
Jesus Christ, we're so sorry. We are so sorry, Matt.
Because I know for a fact Vinland Saga would at least get like a 6.5 from Matt. Minimum, I would say. Yeah. Minimum.
Easily.
I can't get over how, like, it's like being locked underground in the bunker for so long, coming up and just seeing grass. Like, when I just saw the mansion and how, like, beautifully it was, like, drawn, and just, like, the fact that there was, like, stuff on the ground, like various, like, states of disrepair, like, the mansion was in, and, like, I saw rain outside. Like, it felt like I just came out of the bunker and it started raining, and I'm just, like, standing in the middle of a field, like, covered in rain, like covered in water. Like, it's so... Dude, this is going to skew my perception of this show.
Like, the mansion was so well implemented. There was just so much detail. Like, the fact that you can actually see the environments of, like, each phase of, like, this family's history.
Yeah.
And, like, you can, like, see how all this stuff went down was so insane.
That's something I should have mentioned when we reviewed Mashle, is that, like, the environments for that are just so boring. They're so generic. Like, here there's like actually effort put into it. I loved the whole haunted mansion set piece in general. Like, it was great. Great intro to the season. Yeah. I also didn't realize we were doing a sort of like prequel thing, a before, what do we call it?
Yeah. Prequel.
Yeah.
Flashback.
I understand till we saw Gojo and like, okay. Because I completely forgot about these two characters, to be honest.
I'm guessing that like we're getting some backstory / flashback, and then like it's gonna end. Obviously,
yeah,
obviously, but I'm guessing that this is gonna play into whatever the next major arc is gonna be for Yuji. I don't know if either of you know, but is it the Shibuya incident? Because I've heard about that a lot from manga readers, but I don't know if we're actually gonna get to that right now.
It's apparently the next arc after this one.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's not there. Okay.
Also, I love how they're doing a recap episode after the flashback arc.
Wait, so next week is the recap episode?
No, after they finish up the so this is going to be a
arc.
Okay.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, I see. That makes sense.
I had to keep looking up characters because I forgot. No offense to the first season, but I kept forgetting who characters were. Like, I didn't realize that one girl was like the nurse from the other one, or the doctor. What happened to her?
You're talking about the girl with the scar across her face in the like tournament arc?
No, her too. I had to remember. I was talking about Shoko.
Wait, the girl character, that's the doctor?
I think so.
Oh, right? She's the doctor?
Yeah.
Hold on.
She changed. What happened to her?
Puberty.
Puberty, yeah.
Yeah, but what explains the fact that she looks so tired now?
She looks tired
Puberty.
in this one too, though. Like in the sense, like less so tired and more so just like kind of quiet.
I dig that a lot, and I'm really happy they're not going with the whole, this is how everyone died, and this is why everything's all serious. I'm happy, like, a lot of the characters do sort of survive through this.
Did she die in that? Did she die in the season 1? That's the thing. I don't remember any of these characters if they died or not.
No one I think only one character died in season 1, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the old guy, the guy who's in charge, who was like assigned them on the mission? Who was he in the season 1?
The guy, he was the
He's
teacher.
the principal.
He's the principal, yeah.
Oh, wait, you're right. Okay, I'm starting to get memories of him again. He's not the old dude, right? That's a different guy?
No, the old guy's the person they're doing the whole mission for, who has, like, the immortality power thing.
Yeah, okay. I see. Okay.
Looks like I was clowning on the whole idea of a recap episode, but I think this probably might be pretty useful for us
Honestly,
right now.
a little bit. It's been a while.
I just went and watched like a season 1 recap on YouTube before, and yeah, it's pretty helpful.
Mm-hmm. I also really enjoyed like Gojo and Geto's like dynamic. I definitely liked how they both come off as like really shit kids, and I like the vibe that like Gojo could have easily grown up to be a complete sociopath.
Yeah.
Also,
so
why is this like the second like series we reviewed in a row that has magic young Hitler in this?
is that Gojo in this scenario?
Oh yeah, how he's like, oh man,
Okay.
the weak should rule the strong, and yada yada yada. It's just like,
I think that's really interesting because obviously we know that they pretty much end up switching sides. Gojo ends up being good and Geto ends up being bad. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what causes that. I actually have a theory. I have a prediction.
Okay.
Yeah, prediction Modi is back now that JJK is back shooting 100%. As always, as usual.
It's so old Mashal where you predicted the show would get better.
Hey, listen. Mashal and JJK are different, okay?
fair enough.
But I think it's interesting that, you know, Gojo has like this very stereotypical anime villain mentality, and Geto has the stereotypical protagonist mentality. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, why they end up switching. The basketball thing was pretty cool too when they were like arguing with each other. This is what Matt is always asking for. He's asking for visual storytelling, you know. So he got it.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing. Okay,
you have high. Your standards are way too high. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it when they did the close up of the window, and you saw the two women passing by it, like the same window over and over again. But it was just a close up on the window, just to like emphasize the fact that they're like walking in. Not in circles, but, you know, like infinitely in the thing. That was a cool way to convey the feeling of them being trapped without having them, like, explicitly say it over and over again. Even though they did say it.
One thing I would have liked to see that is they go through this whole, like, 4D chess, like, engineering lecture about how this power works. I would have given them so much credit if, like, May just grabs a fire extinguisher or, like, a brick and just breaks the window and then just jumps out.
Okay, I really want to talk about that part. Because that was probably my favorite part of the episode.
Oh, totally.
Because, so, I've been hearing a lot ever since the end of season 1, people talking about the manga, and because I see it every week, and people are like have been saying for like at least a year now that Jujutsu Kaisen is becoming a lot like Hunter x Hunter, and this episode was the first time I actually felt that, and I was like, wow, because this whole time I've kind of doubted it because I was like, is it really like is it like just doing a fake Hunter x Hunter thing like in season 1? You remember, like making the powers like ridiculously complicated and not really making sense. And I guess the Hunter x Hunter aspect that I'm talking about is like the thinking through problems, right? What I'm not gonna mention Mashal. Actually, I was about to mention Mashal.
See, I was going to say this
we jabbed at that show for 12
It
episodes.
needs it. There's no way it's
Okay,
allowed to be
you know
that popular and be untouched.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try something else. After watching 12 episodes of freaking Demon Slayer, oh my god, I loved all of this.
Yeah.
This was like brain porn. I was so happy for a manga to actually understand how his power system works and explain how it works. And something that just doesn't make up rent.
I
won't
really
say
liked
random bullshit, but I will say it's thought through and it works.
Well, it works off the character's cleverness. I actually really like that solution where she's like, I was counting my steps, and I noticed that it was inconsistent each time. So this monster or whatever must work by it placing placing, and also the visual metaphor of the candy sort of it keeps replacing itself over and over again, and then their solution is just run in opposite directions to where they can outrun it being able to repeat itself. I thought that was a cool solution to it. It made the character seem smart instead of being oh, I just randomly figured out how to swim and I killed this guy whose main thing was swimming. Yeah.
Whenever I see stuff like this, I always just get very impressed because it's yeah, the characters are smart, but the author had to come up with that. It's damn, you thought of that? That's crazy. And the thing that made it even more impressive to me was the fact that he didn't just think of the problem and an interesting solution. He thought about what the 90% correct solution would be and what the 100% correct solution would be, which to me is insane, you know?
Mm-hmm. And so then he just blew it the frick up, which, takes it even higher for me.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I love how he proved that he can be smart, but also can be a huge meathead at the exact same time.
That's exactly what you want from a peak shonen author. Okay?
Yes. Amen.
So that was, to me, I really like that scene. And if this is what the arc is going to be if this is what future Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be I'm very excited. But I'm not going to speak too soon. I've learned my lesson from Trigun and from Mashal not to speak too soon. So, but on the other hand of that, I've literally only heard good things about Jujutsu Kaisen, just getting better and better. So I have high hopes.
My only issue with that, my only fear is that is you have a main character who's canonically supposed to be the strongest, most superpowered person in the world. And I'm really worried that him just coming in, just blowing all this stuff away is a bad omen for how this whole season's going to go for this, at least this first story arc.
Hopefully, and I hope they're building this up, kind of what you guys said earlier, that we're seeing very cocky Gojo who's doesn't really have regard for anyone else and it's just kind of a goofball. And we can see something happens to him or something makes him realize to mature. Even though he's immature in the show, in the other show, at least mature in his philosophy.
Yes.
Okay.
It could be a good way to do that if they do that.
I was going to save this to the end, but I'm just going to give my prediction now since it fits. So I think the way this is going to play out is Geto is going to fall in love with that girl that is supposed to become the next star vessel for Tengen-sama, right? And he's going to want to protect her, right? And it's going to play into his whole philosophy about how the weak should be protected, right? Gojo is just going to be trying to actually get the job done. He's going to actually be trying to kill her. And maybe she actually will, maybe he will succeed and she will die. And then that's what's going to turn Geto evil, turn against the whole organization of sorcerers. Because they pretty much went against what he thinks they should be doing, which is protecting the weak. And I'm not sure that Gojo actually will mature or anything. I feel like he'll just continue being who he is, except that maybe, the sorcerers are actually kind of the bad guys in a way,
'Cause I do appreciate that they do highlight how morally gray the sorcerers are, because they're literally doing human sacrifices and everything. So I thought that was an interesting look in how, this isn't your super idealized, heroes of justice kind of thing.
Yeah.
I still hope they kind of do a thing in general where Gojo has sort of this disregard, and then as a result of that ends up like losing. Like I do kind of want this to be a part of like Gojo's response. Like I want it to like be sort of like a thing that he has guilt over, and then sort of carry on that like Yuji gets to be his like reset almost. Like this time I can do it right. But I would like some kind of maturing for it, you know.
I agree.
What's Gojo's goal again? Because I know in season 1 he was always talking about how like the new generation of sorcerers is gonna like, you know, take away the old philosophy of the old sorcerers. But like, what is it that he wants to change again?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Boomers.
Because I feel like that would answer the question. Because if it's something that like falls in line with his philosophy in the flashback, then I think that would just tell us that he hasn't really changed.
That might be interesting because, like, as we've seen here, the whole linchpin of this entire society is literally the previous generation.
Yeah.
So, like, him, like, actively fighting against this, and, like, this could be, like, the moment where he's just like, okay, we need to stop relying on this old fart for all of our protection, and we need to learn how to protect ourselves, kind of.
Or there's, like, a better way of doing this where you don't have to hurt people or something like that along those lines, because that could even be like a reason why Geto ended up switching sides, and like he could have like some guilt over that, you know.
Yeah,
that would just be my ideal scenario. If they don't go that way, I'm sure they could still do it in a good and entertaining way, but I feel like it could be a good way to tie in this arc with the rest of the show too, but we'll see.
Also, I just want to touch on the animation again. This is, like, oh my god, the animation in this was so expressive, too. Like, every single character in this had their own unique walk cycle, and all the poses were pushed so beautifully. Like, one of my favorite moments in that entire episode was just that one side view of just Gojo and Geto just walking to, like, the mission location.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I specifically remember that. That stuck out to me, for sure.
Well, that's the thing I really appreciate about this and other Mappa shows is like the kind of attention to making your animation really good, but in everything like besides the fight scenes as well, you know? Because I feel like there's like
it's a common
mistake where you only put your resources into like into the fights essentially, and not enough into like the actual dialogue scenes.
Yeah, I do appreciate. I think they also the backgrounds in this again. Really excellent use of 3D.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because, like, I remember the scene where, like, Gojo blows up the house. And I like the idea that he just blasts that thing so hard, it lost the entire dimension and just went full 2D. He literally blew a D off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really pay a lot of attention to detail. Like, even the laptops they were using Windows XP. Like...
Or how like the backgrounds were animated in the style of an old like 1990s anime VHS too.
That was cool. I like that they had like an old VHS looking thing, but it was like in an anime style. I thought that was really neat.
What did you guys think about?
This is what good shows feel like.
What did you guys think about Mei?
Mei, the white-haired girl lady, right?
Yeah.
I am mid. I like her design. I liked a lot of the action she has in there, but I'm not the biggest fan of the character's personality.
I'm in love with her. I'm actually in love with her.
Hey, Utahime is best girl, okay? I will fight you on that.
Nah, I mean, maybe she might have been in another universe before season 2 came out, but... Nah, there's new competition now. Dang. It's not even a competition, actually. Mei blows everyone out of the water.
Leave in the comments who's your favorite. Call. Oh, mine is Shoko. So that's an even.
Oh yeah, I like Shoko too, actually. But yeah, no.
I like the scene where she's using Gojo's glasses, and then like goes over and like gives him the glasses. I don't know. It's just like such a small little moment. And like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cute.
There's so many of those in this, and it was so nice.
I need to like. I feel like I should actually make an effort to find out who the director of this is because it's actually just that good.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
One thing I'm worried about is it's like so good. I'm scared it's gonna fall off, you know?
It's gonna pull Nash.
Like, I'm like, there's no way the quality can stay this high for 12 episodes.
Can do like a One Punch Man thing? Like
I don't think I've ever seen it. So
Nappa pulled it off with Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, I don't think Chainsaw Man was as high quality as this. I think this is like another. This is like movie, like cinematic anime quality, practically. You know, like.
Ooh, I'll fight you on that one. I'll fight you. I think Chainsaw Man was
You think Chainsaw Man was cinematic level, or you're just saying it was on par?
Chainsaw, it's kind of like apples and oranges. Like Chainsaw Man, they mentioned time and time again that they really tried to make it seem less anime-y and more cinematic. And I feel like you can definitely feel like the XP points they gain from Chainsaw Man showing in this season. Because it is much more cinematic, but it is way more exaggerated and way more animated. In fact, one of the things I do give a lot of credit for is if you ever watched the first season, there's a POV shot of Eye Patch Lady walking towards, like, drunkenly walking towards her bed. And they tried to, it's clearly a Blender 3D camera, but it's so, and they tried to add a little bit of camera shake to it, but it was just so clean, so artificial, and so rigid. But you also have another scene like that where Urahime is walking through the mansion, and the camera feels way more organic. So I definitely think it's a hard call. I think they're both really high quality, but I think the animation in Jujutsu Kaisen is a direct result from the experience from Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
I think every anime has this sort of, they have the comedy bits where the characters turn into like little chibi characters and then they do goofy stuff in the background. I feel like this show did it a lot better than especially Mashal. I thought those things were a lot funnier and a lot more entertaining than like them sitting around being like, we did it over and over again.
This nailed it so bad, so hard.
Like I think that because they were also, those things were also well animated, like those little like background gags and stuff like that. And even something like Urahime when she is like talking, was it to Gojo? I don't know. But she was like moving Shoko around like while still like being in a hug. It's just like little. I like how they executed stuff like that. And then like in the background, you had Geto like walking. Yeah.
I love like Geto's like little chibi walk as they're just talking as he's like walking from the crater. That was so good.
Yeah. It was funny. I liked it.
Oh yeah.
Again, these stuff I miss when I've been watching Mashal for the past several weeks. Just competency, I think, in general.
You miss quality.
The other thing
I was high thinking, standards.
The other thing I was thinking is that this is probably going to also maybe be the origin story for how what's his name Gojo became the strongest.
Maybe
because I'm not sure that he is the strongest just yet at this part. So
he's still pretty strong though.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's already famous, so yeah.
Heck, we got our first look at Megumi's father too.
But you know what else is interesting? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Yeah, we did get. Yeah, that's also going to be an interesting plot twist. The fact that he was also involved and he was going to be working against them. So yeah, I feel like all of this is going to be a really cool setup for the next arc. But now I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
How do you guys think about the Qs? The Q. What's the organization called?
The antagonist groups.
Yeah, that showed up at the end of this.
I'm getting Bleach flashbacks from their like
Same.
military designs.
Oh yeah.
But I think those are probably my favorite uniforms out of the entire show.
Yeah,
I like them a lot more than the.
Oh yeah, go on. You're talking.
I liked them a lot more than the Jujutsu Kaisen uniforms,
Mm-hmm.
and they definitely stand out. And I'm happy you can see a lot more detail in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the. I feel like I didn't see enough of them in this episode to really make that much judgment. But my initial impression is the same as D, which is that they remind me of some of the Bleach villains, and should be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to the fights.
I like them. Yeah.
But okay, I remembered the other thing I was going to say, which is that I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure at the end of season 1, Yuji and his teammates were promoted to. Were they promoted to first grade sorcerers?
It doesn't
matter.
Because, well, it kind of does in a way, because in this flashback right now, Gojo is not even a first grade sorcerer, right?
That's what Matthew said. That's what Matthew said. By doesn't matter, because if he's even a first grade and he's able to like blow up entire buildings like it was nothing. He's already way stronger than any of them were when they first got promoted.
But then that's just so weird, right? Because like I guess I don't know. I just wonder why like the author would make them have such a high rank and then go directly right after that go into a flashback where Gojo is a lower rank. I don't know, but
I still feel like, because I remember us having this discussion during the first season, during that entire like. Is it a tournament arc? Whatever it was.
Yep.
The class rankings being all over the place and weird, and how like characters was able to defeat other characters despite being like on way different levels. So it does feel like a little bit arbitrary.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I think some people got promoted to first class despite like not really doing that much in that arc. I think.
Because like even in the flashback, Utahime was a higher level than Gojo. So
yeah. I don't think it actually matters. I don't think it's an actual indication of your power level.
Probably not. Yeah.
I think it is, like I said, I think it's an arbitrary leveling system, but it's definitely one of those. I have mixed feelings about those, because on one hand, it's an easy way to show character growth. But on the other hand, it's annoying to have to keep up with. Mm-hmm. And it's always interesting to see how long it takes before a writer just throws out the window. Like, for example, with Naruto, they introduced, like, the different rankings. But after, like, the arc where they did the promotion exam, they never addressed it. And the main character just never dealt with that ranking system ever again.
Yeah, that's true. That was true. That was annoying.
That's how I see this show going, because most of our main characters are like the highest rank already. So,
yeah, and they did get promoted pretty quickly. So
yeah.
And they already have some pretty big feats, even as of the end of season 1. Like I think they each took out like a special grade curse. So I don't. Yeah. Does it even really get any higher than that? You know?
Yeah. And honestly, I'm hoping they just kind of leave that, but because I mean they've already abandoned it. Like the show itself already abandoned it, so there's no point in keep it. Because that was something that bothered me with the last season too. Is just like how quickly they were able to rank up.
Yeah.
Because you thought it would like take a while to get from each thing to the next, but it feels like there's like a lot of power systems in anime where it's like instantly the character just like breaks through it anyways. So then they like make a new one for the character to break through again, like. Even with Black Flash, where he's like, "Oh, he's the best Black Flash user ever now," despite him using it for the first time. Do you remember that?
You just gave me like war flashbacks to that episode. God, that pissed me off so much. The whole Black Flash thing.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I have another thing. Tengen-sama is pretty much Orochimaru. You won't know who Orochimaru is, Matt.
No.
There's a character in Naruto who pretty much he's a villain, and what he does is he reincarnates every once in a while, and the way he does it is by taking the body of like a healthy, fit young person and using that as, you know, the vessel for his new reincarnation. So that's pretty much what Tengen-sama is. So interesting. Also, I mean, it's also interesting because Orochimaru is very clearly a bad guy in Naruto. So if this is supposed to be like a direct reference, then that says even more about. I wonder. It makes me think like maybe by the end of the series, the sorcerers are just going to be straight up the bad guys, and Yuji's going to be fighting against them. Who knows? Wait a minute.
That are you implying that the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen watched / read Naruto?
Yes, definitely.
But that's going to be such an interesting dynamic because that's going to be like a lot for Yuji to deal with if the sorcerers are bad. Plus, he's actively got a demon inside him telling him like this kind of stuff. He's gonna have like everyone against him, plus like the demon inside of him. Like it's that'd be cool.
Very interesting. I would be down for that. I would be down for that.
So actually, two things. One is, I think that's very possible because we see that the author likes like flipping things, and doing things opposite of usual. Like, for example, with Gojo and Geto. So he might want to do that with like, this might be the start of like that whole story about how about how we learned that maybe the sorcerers are actually the bad guys or something. But also the second thing is, I'm pretty sure very early on in our season 1 reviews, I predicted that what's his name, Sukuna and Yuji might end up teaming up. And it looks, I mean, still too early to say, but it's looking more and more like that might be possible. So like, really, I'm a god at this. Like, I
think temporary alliance. About everything. I think temporary alliance makes more sense, but he's like still the ultimate threat because Sukuna is like way too evil for them not to have him be the villain. But I think I can see a temporary alliance where like, the sorcerer's about to do something bad, and he's like, okay, I'm going to team up with you, like, for now, right? But I'm still ultimately going to, like, kill you. And myself, apparently. Yeah.
And I also think I said that I can see Gojo being a bad guy, and I'm going to stand on that even harder, because now I can... I feel like at the end of the series, Gojo is going to be the final villain. In fact, I'm going to call that. Gojo is going to be the final villain at the end of the series.
You really think?
Ooh.
Yeah, I do.
That would be bold. That. I don't know if I agree that they'll do it, but that would be bold.
Yeah.
It would be bold. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else?
I have the worst thing that this episode did, and my biggest critique, and we'll definitely knock it down a bunch, is there's no after episode bit.
Yes.
There's no after episode bit where they do a little sketch, a funny sketch. That is a crime.
Especially since the cast is so well built for it, too.
Yeah. Well, actually, honestly, like, even joking aside, this is the perfect opportunity to flesh out, like, these characters when they were younger. Because that's what the original, the bits after the show were so good with the original one, and like kind of fleshing out the world and the characters and their dynamics even more. Like the entire sister school, we learned a lot more about their dynamic just those after credit bits. And I'm really disappointed that they didn't continue that. And I hope after this arc they do.
I'm hoping since it's like they held back a little bit since this is the first episode, and I hope we kind of get that coming up next.
Hopefully.
Also, I thought it was kind of like low-key unhinged that they put the opening in like the middle of the episode.
Opening was fire, though. Opening was fire.
It was. Yeah. Okay, so the opening had like, how do I put it? It had like not a nostalgic quality, but it had a feeling of like, this is the opening where like when I'm looking back at Jujutsu Kaisen 10 years from now, this is the opening I'm gonna watch and be like, good times, you know? Like that's how I feel about this opening.
You can't beat the whole season 1, the first like ending thing they did.
Yeah.
That was
a moment in time. That was a moment in time.
That was the best thing they've ever done, and they'll never recreate it.
Yeah, especially when apparently the lead singer behind that got busted for drug possession.
Oh, really?
No more openings for you. Another tiny thing, also a Naruto reference, but they're pretty much Kakashi, Rin, and Obito. Except the personalities are not there at all, but like the dynamic, I feel like, it's like a similar thing going with like their teacher being the one who ended up being the principal / Hokage. Yeah, whatever. Just a tiny little Naruto thing. Yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say about this episode. Do you guys have anything else?
I'm good for right now.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so want to give reviews?
Ratings?
Yeah, ratings. You want to start us off, D?
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Okay.
I don't know. I might give it a 9 because I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5 because I think the animation was great. I think a lot of the story and world building stuff was great. I enjoyed the character interactions, but I think it was a little too much Gojo for me, and I think there were moments where I was kind of annoyed with him.
Wow, that's interesting because you seem like the type of person who would love the Gojo character. So, yeah, I'm definitely not tired of him yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I like it when they don't have the abilities to back it up. Let's just say that.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I can see that. Yeah, for now I'm not getting tired of him, but I definitely see your point that you said at the beginning that I can see it getting old, like his whole thing. Yeah. I would give it probably I want to give it a 10, to be honest. But like I feel like I shouldn't because it might get better. But I really can't think of anything I had an issue. I'm just gonna give it a 10. I give this a 10. I thought it was like actually perfect. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I'm really excited for what's to come.
Nice. Now it's the wild card. Matt, what do you think? The true test.
I think it's a bit hard to tell at this point. I think it's my rating for it is very likely to change based on how the next few episodes are gonna go. So I'm gonna give it a safe 7.5 out of 10.
Dang.
And it would be an 8.5 out of 10 if there was Todo. Because any episode that doesn't have Todo is instantly knocked down a rating.
Damn right.
Wait, okay, so
yeah.
D, what was your reason for giving it knocking off 1.5 points?
I'm a little shaky about how they're handling Gojo right now.
Oh yeah, okay, Gojo, right?
Yeah,
and then
I love the whole idea that his power literally he literally gets his superpowers from being a cocky shit. The next episode, the next season, the main villain's plan to defeat Gojo is just to try to hurt his confidence. So they try to cyberbully him, but he's too cool for social media. They try to convince him that he can't pull off a pair of jeans, but then he pulls off the jeans.
Wait, Matt, what was your reason?
So the legitimate reason is or the 7.5.
Yeah.
The legit reason is that I can see ways in which they mess this up. So right now it's kind of in this limbo of, and I also agree with the stuff with Gojo. If they do stuff later on, I'd give it this episode a higher rating. But right now it's just kind of I really like it. But that's it.
Okay.
Okay. There's a room for improvement here and there, but that's it.
Awesome.
All right. So
all right, well,
that's been our review of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 1. Come back 2 weeks from now for the next review where we're going to be doing Episodes 2 and 3. Next week we're going to be doing Superman. What's the specific name of the show?
We're taking a look at our first all-American anime by taking a look at My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah, so we'll be watching that next week. Is it the first two? Does that come out weekly or is it?
It comes out weekly.
Okay, so we'll be watching the first 1 or 2 episodes, however many are out next week. Thanks for tuning in and see you then. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.